Okay, I am going to show you how to do this biotic indicator assignment. You have the following paper. What you're going to do is there are some glass dishes. You're going to have to do 2 of them. And in those glass dishes, they're acting as a water sample. You're going to identify each organism in that water sample by using a dichotomous key. That is the second attachment in the Google Classroom. And I'm going to show you how to use this dichotomous key. So let's say in your glass dish, if I was to scroll down all the way to the bottom of this assignment which you have, let's look at the first item. This looks like a shell. So if I go to my key, here are my options. I got shells, and so I'll even grab my marker here. I have shells or no shells. Because this is a shell, I'm going to be looking at this section. And if you recall the picture, it looks closer to this snail shell. So this has a high tolerance of low oxygen levels. So you're going to go back to your paper and we're going to find this pouch snail. Okay, so, here we go. Sorry, that took me a long time. If your sample had that pouch snail, you'd put a check mark on your, here we go, on your page. So we have one of those. Let's see what else we have. And you can even be answering this on your paper copy too. So this is a pouch snail. If I looked at this other organism, it doesn't have a shell. So I'm going to go to this side of the dichotomous key. This side of the dichotomous key breaks it into no legs and legs. This one has legs, so I'm going to follow my key down. And now it breaks that up into 10 plus legs, 4 pairs of legs, or 3 pairs of legs. 3 pairs of legs mean there's going to be 6 in total. This organism has 6 legs. So I am in this section of the dichotomous key. This breaks it up into wings and no wings. If I look back, this organism, I would say it does, well, I guess if it's hard to tell, I might look at my other pictures. Looking at these ones, okay, I can see the wings on them, so then my guy does not have wings. So I'm going to go to the no wing section. Does it have an obvious tail, 1 or 2 tails, or 3 tails? So see on these examples, you have 3 tails sticking out at the very back. These ones you have a very obvious 2. These ones, if you can't really see them, they don't have those obvious tails. And this organism doesn't have an obvious tail. So I'm looking at, maybe I'll change my color here. I'm looking at this section. In fact, this one is a dragonfly larvae. Dragonfly larva. Okay, so if you were to have this in your sample, you would check it off. This is a somewhat sensitive to low oxygen levels. And then lastly, let's look at the third one. This fella here, it's not a shell, doesn't have legs. So let's go to the dichotomous key. I will erase what I got going on here so it doesn't look so confusing. Okay, so it doesn't have legs. So now I'm looking at this section here. Let's go back to my picture. It looks pretty fat. So I'm going to look at my pictures. And I would say this is the black fly larva. So if I was to zoom in there, compare it again to my picture, I'd say it looks pretty close to that black fly larva. Okay, so let's go over and label it. If I looked at my chart, found black fly larva, oh, there we go. It is another somewhat sensitive to low oxygen levels. So let's say my sample, I just have those 3 macro invertebrates. There are 2 in the somewhat sensitive to low oxygen level box. Those I have to times by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And in my tolerant of low oxygen levels, there's only 1. And I'm going to multiply it by 1. So I get 1 here. If I was to add it all up, I have 5 in total, which means this water quality, if there was only those 3, is poor. The total number of species, there was 3 of them. Total number of tolerant species, we had only 1. So I'm going to put 1 there. That would be an example. You're going to do 2 of them.